Andy, good
Good
morning.
morning, everybody.
Yeah, we lost Rob today. His son ended up with a cold, so we had to go home and tend to his son because his girl had to work. So
Yeah,
somebody
yeah.
had to stay there and take care of Hendrix. Hey, I'm going to show a video, Andy, and then I'd like to get your comments on this video
Sure.
because Biden is calling us Republicans demented. He really is.
Yeah,
He
right.
must
Talk
have a
about
cue.
the
He must
the
have had a
pot
cue
calling the
card.
kettle black.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. So let me pull this up. Hang on one sec. Here we go. And then some days it don't. we didn't have the mics on. Man.
Not at all?
I'm going to get a damn award for being stupid. No, I want to say it again. Okay. No, the mics weren't on. So we were talking about Talk Market saying that the U.S. government ran a $85 billion budget deficit in December, and that was a lot lower than November's massive $248.5 billion. Mm-hmm. And so the December 2022 deficit was 299% larger than December of 2021's, which was a shortfall of about $21.3 billion. In fact, with the exception of the pandemic year of 2020, this was the biggest December deficit since 2011, when the United States government was still trying to stimulate the economy out of our 2008 recession. And I got to tell you, this is bad news for the Federal Reserve as it tries to actually raise its interest rates and shrink its balance sheet to fight price inflation. So then you got a dummy president like ours, who's really the demented one, who says that he has lowered the deficit when we're actually looking at monthly budget deficit up 299% year on year in December.
Yeah, that's a huge statistic. So it's not like we're even close to having any kind of control of the deficit. And look, we're coming up on the debt ceiling, right?
Oh.
And every time they have to keep raising it and raising it. I think the total debt is over 31 trillion now, and that is just, I mean, it's mind-boggling. It's a mind-boggling number, and it keeps going up. The interest rates are higher now, so when they turn over the debt, it's going to be more and more expensive, and it's going to take bigger part of the budget. It's just a long, unsustainable path that, I mean, the country's been on for years, and it's no way getting any better right now.
No. And, you know, I gave those numbers yesterday at, you know, all the numbers that are coming out this week. Well, the market is definitely reflecting it. But, you know, not everything is all about the stock market, right? And because a lot of people out there can't even afford to be in the stock market. So, you know, the thing that you've got to look at right now is you've got to look at how to go about protecting yourself, especially when you've got, I don't know if you heard about this, Andy, but San Francisco right now has got this, what they call reparations panel, and they're actually pitching $5 million each to black residents. I'm not making this up.
$5 million.
$5 million each.
Even though California was never a slave state.
Yeah. Is that crazy?
Yeah.
$5 million each to black folks. And that is just insane. How can they even, like, think of that? That's what I want to know.
$5 million each.
$5 million. So and this is what they're talking about. They're saying that it supplements 250 years of slavery, is what they're saying.
I thought slavery ended in 1865.
Well, so listen, this advisory committee has recommended paying out reparations to the city's longtime black residents, including a $5 million, I'm not done, $5 million payout per qualifying person and a supplemental income to low-income residents for 250 years. And the city's African American Reparations Advisory Committee actually released a draft report last month claiming that San Francisco's international reputation as a shining progressive gem in the West is undermined by its legacy of mistreatment. I call San Francisco a shithole because you got all those damn drug addicts that they allow to stand out on the street and shoot up. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen where you go by and they're shooting right up in front of you. I've seen the homeless where they don't want to be put in a home. They just want to stay out on the street and act like trash on the street. But anyway, so legacy of mistreatment, violence towards and targeted racism against black Americans. And it says, while neither San Francisco nor California formally adopted the institution of chattel slavery, the values of segregation, white supremacy, and systematic repressions and inclusion of black people were legally codified and enforced, the group wrote. And such, the committee proposed the city make a lump sum payment of $5 million to black residents who are at least 18. Now, here's the qualifications.
Okay.
You got to be 18 years old.
Yeah.
And you got to have identified as black or African American on public documents, like your driver's license or your passport, right? Some kind of public documents for at least 10 years. I'm not making this up. This is real. And these residents must meet at least 2 of 8 other requirements. You want to hear them?
Yeah.
All right.
What are the requirements?
So among those requirements is that the resident is personally or the direct descendant of someone incarcerated by the failed war on drugs.
You have to be the relative
so
of somebody incarcerated
if you're a black person,
yeah.
And let's say your daddy went to jail for selling heroin or something.
That gives you a qualification.
That qualifies you.
You need 2 out of the 8.
That's one of them. All right. So failed war on drug, or is a descendant of someone enslaved through the U.S. chattel slavery before 1865. So a lump sum payment would compensate the affected population for the decades of harms that they have experienced and will redress the economic and opportunity losses that black San Franciscans have endured collectively as the result of both intentional decisions and unintended harms perpetrated by the city police, the committee says. No wonder they're all leaving that state. That
Everybody's
city.
leaving San Francisco. Yeah, I mean, there's not going to be any money there. I don't know where the money's going to come from.
Well, the group also suggested, are you ready for this one? There's more. Remember, it's not just $5 million.
Mm-hmm.
The group also suggested that the city supplement lower income recipients' incomes to meet the area's median income of about $97,000 for at least 250 years.
Wow.
And the panel released this. There's more. The panel
Where's
released.
all the money going to come from?
Oh well, the panel released from the taxpayers.
I know, but there's not. I mean,
I don't think this can go through. I don't know though. They're really pushing on. Listen to this. There's more. So the panel also released a lengthy list of recommendations, another of which was to create a comprehensive debt forgiveness program like Biden.
Yeah.
And this is for black residents, all black residents, to be able to cancel their student loans, their housing loans, all black people.
Wow.
And their credit card debt, in an effort to give black households an opportunity to build wealth. I call it go out and get a fucking job.
I don't know where all they
Unbelievable.
I mean, this really shows this is like extreme far leftism.
This is insane.
This is far leftism, and this is.
You just go get a job. Stop selling dope on the street. I'm not saying everyone does it.
Yeah.
But and listen, it's not done. The report also suggests that the city offer financial compensation for families that are affected by education harms on black students, though it does not include specifics. Now, you're a teacher. I'm sure you've taught black children as well,
yeah.
Adults.
20 years.
Yeah. I mean, and there's other proposals, including allowing black residents who are eligible for reparations to receive first choice of subsidized rental units and prioritizing members of San Francisco's current and past African-American communities for employment opportunities. I mean, hell, if you get $5 million, you don't need a damn rental property.
Wow. I mean, it's just stunning. This is a real stunning example
This is where our country
of
is
extreme
headed.
leftism and Marxism. And
I just had to share that. I mean, it's like,
yeah, yeah, it's truly incredible. I mean, it's such a I mean, it's worse than a slap in the face to every other citizen and resident who nobody was ever gifted. I mean, gifted $5 million and a guaranteed salary
your
at
credit card debt
credit
paid
card
for,
debt.
your home's paid for.
Yeah, I
Your,
mean,
you might as well everything.
for all middle class people everywhere.
I mean,
Even black people included who've worked their way and improved their situation.
I heard it's like $50 billion, Andy.
Yeah, yeah, it's just stunning, and it's basically it's the old Margaret Thatcher quote that socialism doesn't work because eventually you run out of other people's money. You can't keep taking money from people that doesn't exist, and it's it's stunning how this plays out because the the left feels like if you're a victim, you are owed you have there's a debt to you that's basically a lifetime debt you're going to collect forever for what happened years and years ago. And even though the system today allows many, a lot of black people are successful and middle class, but there's this lifetime debt that you have. This is under leftism because the system is evil. You know, it's racism, white supremacy. It goes on forever. It's like a lifetime check you get.
Yeah.
And it can never be cleared. You get 5 million, and then you get the debt relief. It's never enough because the harm you suffered is worth 1 million lifetimes of repayment. It's just insanity. It's really flat out insanity.
It's no wonder Musk left. He was smart. He knew.
That's why I mean,
come on.
They don't. A lot of the tech companies are leaving.
Do you blame them?
No, I don't blame them at all.
It's crazy what's going on.
And it's just so blind to the reality. Like, where do they think the money comes from?
Let me give you a little bit more.
What do they think the United States? It's very infantile, is what it is, because you think like, oh, there's this inexhaustible wealth from the government, and it's all there. It's just like it's like you're an infant. It's like you're a 1-year-old thinking, I want everything given to me. I want everything given to me. I want everything given to me.
So take a look at this. You know who that is?
Who?
All right. So she's a Democrat, another race baiting going on from the far left, radicals.
Yeah.
And they never take a day off. I swear to God.
Yeah.
They never, I swear, they never take a day off. And even on a day that's meant to promote racial healing, like yesterday, there was this radical left, deranged Democratic congresswoman from Texas who has now introduced a bill, are you ready for this, that could make criticism of non-white individuals by whites now a federal crime.
Is that Shelia Jackson Lee?
That's Shelia Jackson Lee. She is so blinded by racial hatred that she is too freaking dumb to see how such legislation would actually hold up in court. Let's be clear. She's just fucking stupid.
Oh, yeah.
Excuse my language.
Yeah.
She once said that, for example, that the United States Constitution is 400 years old. Andy, you're a teacher. You know it's 235 years old. And she also laughed and claimed that black deaths from the COVID pandemic could have been reduced with reparations, like up here in San Francisco.
Yeah, sure.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is Martin Luther King, and you got this Democrat, radical Democrat, just trying to stir the pot, just cause more trouble. If it isn't, we already have enough trouble, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, like I said, the agenda of the left, they have to keep pushing all the time.
Yeah.
They don't want people to be, like you said, days of racial healing. They don't want people to get over what they experienced in the past. They want people to be victims forever.
That's so true.
because that's their power.
Yeah.
And they'll do whatever they can to stay in power. And victimization for them is a power game. And as long as they can keep that going, they will stay in power. And that's the name of the game. That's all they want. That's all they want. The left is all about power.
Hey, I've got some other interest. Today's just the news day, because we're already seeing gold's up over 1,900. It's at about 1,920 something this morning. Silver's up 24. It's staying there now, and that's why we're getting a lot of reports that within the next 6 months, if not sooner, we could see gold rise to $2,000 an ounce. Very easy, especially the way the dollar. Remember, I kept telling you, once the dollar starts going down, once that dollar starts getting weaker and weaker, then we're going to start seeing our gold prices and silver prices, because they act totally different than the market, everything else, right? And so I got some more interesting news. This was breaking news that was exclusive to the Gateway Pundit, so I snatched it up from them really quick. But as reported earlier, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris proudly had displayed their tax filings on JoeBiden.com webpage. But then suddenly these documents were taken down, and the web page sent readers to a Democratic fundraising page. Have you heard about this?
Yeah.
Oh, and these links to their filings were originally posted on the JoeBiden.com financial disclosures webpage in July of 2019. And the original list of tax filings included filings from 2016, 2017, and 2018. And in January of 2022, the JoeBiden.com financial disclosures webpage included the additional filings from 2019 and Senator Harris's forms from 2019. And I'll just show you real quick. You can see the financial disclosure tax returns. So the Joe Biden financial disclosure webpage still has these tax documents publicly displayed on July 17, 2022. Interesting. But then on July 18th, 2022, the JoeBiden.com financial disclosure and tax return page was altered. What does that mean? It was somebody was messing with it?
Disappeared?
Altered. Starting on July 18, 2022, the JoeBiden.com webpage linked to the Democratic donation page, as you can see, the Wicked Witch of the West on the right, the demented professor in the middle, and what do you call it? And the fired attorney general on the left. There you go. That's my comment.
Okay.
Anyway, the Biden tax filings are no longer now available for public viewing.
Surprise, surprise.
They gone.
Yeah.
Like the ghost whisperer. It has ghosted them. And, you know, here's what's interesting. And this is how the Gateway Pundit, you know, they go in. They go in hard. I don't always agree with everything they say until I see the actual facts of it.
Yeah, they don't pull punches. Yeah.
But this is how they put it together. Have you seen this? Have you heard this?
I don't think
All right. So back in June of 2022, the FBI made a visit and visited Mar-a-Lago, and they rummaged through President Trump's documents that he legally took from the White House as president when he left in January of 2021. And according to The Hill, during a visit, he even joined the meeting between agents and an unnamed individual at Mar-a-Lago, and he shook the hands of agents and congratulated them on their work. That's nice. I could see President Trump doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And agents requested that a stronger lock be placed on the door of a storage room And later, a subpoena was issued for security camera footage from Mar-a-Lago, which Trump reportedly complied with this subpoena. Security cameras. I'm sure he knew everybody that came into Mar-a-Lago. I'm sure they had to sign like a through security to get in. Have you ever seen?
Not like the open garage.
Well, wait a minute. I'm not done with that. Yeah, that's where I'm going. Have you ever seen Andy Biden's home? There's a gate. You got to go through a gate.
Yeah.
And there's security in there and everything.
Trump's home or
no, Biden's home.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Biden has a home like that.
Yeah.
You don't think they just let him drive up onto the driveway? Hey, Joe, I'm here.
Yeah.
Oh, hell no.
No, of course not.
No
Yeah.
way, man.
No.
Anyway, so they have to go through security.
Right.
Well, don't you have to sign a log when you go in?
You would think. Yeah.
So wouldn't you think that there's some kind of log available? Not today. Not in Biden's world. Oh, we don't have a log.
Yeah.
Bull. BS. They don't want to show who's there because they'll go after those people.
Yeah.
It's all crazy. Anyway, so Trump, he complied with the subpoena. And then on August 8th of 2022, the FBI raided President Trump's Mar-a-Lago home. They ransacked his home. They sniffed Melania's undergarments. They rummaged through, allegedly, they rummaged through her son's room, Barron's. They took boxes of legal documents the president took with him when he left the White House. But before any of this took place, Joe Biden quietly took down his tax documents from his campaign webpage. I don't know. Maybe it's just a coincidence.
What do you think's going on there?
I don't know. What the heck? What do you?
The timing. I don't know.
What do you think? It's kind of odd that he would take down.
I mean, maybe he's afraid that they were coming for him at some point. And obviously, it looks like
I don't think he took him down. I think somebody in his camp took him down. I mean,
yeah,
he doesn't know.
He doesn't know it, and he doesn't even.
I mean, he's just old Joe riding around in a 1972 Corvette when it's really, I told you it was a 1965. And he was saying it was a 1972. Hell, he didn't even know what year he was driving around that Corvette. It was a 1965.
He doesn't even know what.
That thing's worth a lot of money, that Corvette, and that's in mint condition.
Did you hear him trying to say the name of the Supreme Court Justice?
Tajiani Johnny. I'd probably do the same thing.
Brown. He was.
I'd do the same thing.
Kajiani.
I don't blame him. Andy, I don't blame him. I'd probably say Kajiani.
When he's saying happy birthday,
he forgot the name. He forgot the name. Happy birthday to. Oh. Anyway, and happy New Year's. Anyway, yeah, he don't know where the hell.
I mean, I think the extent of Joe Biden's day is his staff puts in front of him the things he's supposed to do. You know, remember when they showed the little sheet where it says you sit down, you address the person, you take your seat, all these things, they have to be instructions. So he literally has to be given instructions for what he's doing at every moment. He doesn't. I don't think if he was left to his own devices, I think he'd end up, drifting into. They'd find him in the reservoir, waiting there, playing with the ducks or something.
It happens. I mean, if one of our clients, no, she's watching. So, but her father went out, and I feel so bad for her because he went out. It was frostbite. They found him freezing. It was up in the East Coast when it was really bad. The blizzard really hit. Yeah. And anyway, he didn't make it. He's up there with our father. Look, the whole funny thing about this deal with the log, no logs, this sort of thing. When Biden took office, he restored the norm and tradition of keeping, he said, White House visitor logs, including publishing them regularly after the previous administration ended him. That was one of his big things. So, it's interesting. All of a sudden, there are no logs, right? And Comer, who was leading the investigation, told Daily Mail that when they asked him for a response, he said President Biden promised to have the most transparent administration in history, but now he refuses to be transparent when it matters most.
Of course. I mean,
and let me tell you, the White House National Archives and the Justice Department withheld information from Congress and the American people about classified records found in an unsecured location from Joe Biden's time as vice president. And the American people deserve transparency, not secrecy. And that's what the head House oversight lawmaker said. And he said, we will continue to press Joe Biden administration for answers about who had access to these classified documents. It's very important. Are we compromised? I'm sure we're compromised. Who knows? But it looks like it. Who had access to these classified documents and why Biden aides were permitted to rummage through the Wilmington residence after the appointment of a special counsel. Comer sent a letter to Biden's chief of staff, Ron Klain, on Sunday demanding access to any visitor logs kept for the Delaware home. And without a list of individuals who have visited his residence, the American people will never know who had access to these highly sensitive documents, is what the Kentucky Republican wrote in his letter. And the Penn Biden Center that was used by Biden as a personal office from 2017 through when he launched his 2020 campaign. And 10 top secret pages were reportedly found there by Biden's personal lawyer while cleaning out the office. Top secret. That's even more than classified, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's like
it's higher level.
He isn't. I don't think any vice president is supposed to have top secret. I wonder if Kamala Harris has anything hiding around her place. Probably here in California, where she comes. I mean, and Biden's personal lawyers, while they were cleaning out the office, and 6 so far have been found in his Wilmington area home so far. And so, we're seeing all these and hearing all these. I wonder if there's any more documents out there and how much, if any, we've been compromised.
It's the whole thing is very strange that his own people would be the one turning in these documents and reporting it. I really find that very, very odd.
Yeah.
That unless there was no choice or something, I think there's something much deeper going on.
Yeah.
And obviously, the Hunter Biden, the Biden crime family, is thoroughly corrupt. We know that. The levels, maybe even at deeper levels than we can imagine. But we know about the deals with the Chinese. We know about the whole Burisma thing, which is complete just extorting of influence and using influence. So it wouldn't put it past. I mean, there may be something even deeper here that's hidden that maybe it could be the thing that takes him down, and maybe they want to remove him. So
I think that's where it's actually going. Yeah. I think his time is done. I think that there's just a lot that is showing itself. I mean, there's too much. It's just too much. And like I said, I don't think he can last another 2 years. I really don't. I'm
really surprised he lasted 2 years already. But really shocked me.
I have friends of mine that are high up in the medical, and they're like, you watch his walk now. His walk is becoming more stiffer.
Yeah.
Things that all signs shows of dementia are all starting to really show on him.
Oh, yeah.
It's really starting to show on him. I'll tell you where there's not any dementia right now, and that's in Davos. Well, and I want to share something with you. It's a little, and I'm just wondering if I'm sure Bill Clinton is there, Because let me tell you something. There's a dark side of Davos. You want to hear about it?
Of course, all of Davos is dark.
Well, it's revealed as the global elite bookings for sex workers. Oh, this is interesting. So this week, these global elites who are supposedly tackling the world's problems, such as climate change at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, are also having a hell of a time partying. So I know Clinton is there. I know Clinton, because he don't get, I'm sure he don't do it with Hillary. So I'm sure he's there. But anyway, there's an escort. I got to share this with you. And her name is Liana, Liana. And she told this German newspaper, The Bild, that she dresses in business attire to blend into the crowd of elites while at the summit. And she said her client is an American who attends the meeting. And she charges 700 euros per hour. And that's an expensive hooker. And 2,300 euros for the whole night. Euros. Now, keep in mind, the euro's higher than the dollar.
Is it?
Yeah, the euro's kicking the dollar's ass right now.
It's a little higher. Not a lot.
No, it's becoming a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, it's coming back. So she sheds light on the dark side of Davos, telling the Bild that demand for prostitute skyrockets during the meeting.
What a surprise.
That's why I think Mr. Clinton's probably there. And an escort service also confirmed sex workers would be very, very busy this week. And bosses book escorts in the hotel suite for themselves and their employees. You get a hooker, and you get a hooker, you get a hooker. Anyway, and a manager, because I know Hillary ain't there, but I know you're there, Bill. I know you're there. Anyway, a manager of an escort service told the Swiss newspaper 20 Minuten, M-I-N-U-T-E-N, the manager told the sex workers that their services would be in high demand for the next several days. And this sex worker, Saluma Bathis, she tweeted, date in Switzerland during #WWF means looking at the gun muzzles of security guards in the hotel quarter at 2 a.m. and then sharing the giveaway chocolates from the restaurant with them and gossiping about the rich. #Davos, #WEF. That's funny. And there's an investigation into this skyrocketing demand for sex workers now at the World Economic Forum's Davos Summit was actually revealed by the Times. And they found at least 100 known prostitutes traveled to the summit in 2020. And the WEF invited about 2,500 global elites this year, 2,500, and nearly 30,000 more are expected to attend dinners and wild parties at the ski resorts. I'll bet they do have some ass parties there.
Yeah, of course. This is the.
I mean, we've heard
this is the gathering of the global elite You
think Bill Clinton's there? You know he's at the Davos. Come on,
very good chance. Very good chance.
I'm sure he's got more than one.
These are people who are devoted to destroying the society, and this is the evil cabal behind a lot of what goes on.
Yeah, Elon's there. I wonder if Elon picks him up a hooker. I wonder. I'm sure those guys get their fulfillment. That's for sure. All right, before I leave, I've covered some crazy stuff today, but one of the craziest, I've been hearing a lot. In fact, a good friend of mine, attorney friend of mine, she's like telling me about this artificial intelligence, and she's like, I'm going to show you something. She literally, through artificial intelligence, she wrote a business plan, and it was incredible. And it took like no time at all. The AI did it all for her. She just put in there what it was, and then it spit it out. So AI technology, which if you don't know stands for artificial intelligence, has infiltrated almost every fabric of society and now will be used, are you ready for this, Annie, in the courtroom. So a robot lawyer that's operated by AI technology will actually help fight a traffic offender's ticket next month. And the robot was created by a tech startup. Guess what the name of it's called? Do Not Pay. This is a smart-ass AI. And per its website, Do Not Pay's, P-A-Y, yes, goal is to utilize artificial intelligence to help consumers fight against large corporations.
Hey,
can you imagine a murderer?
That sounds
somebody
good.
that
Yeah,
this is crazy. Your Honor. Your Honor. I'm an artificial intelligence. Anyway, this is crazy. So they solve their problems like beating parking tickets, appealing bank fees, and suing robocallers. And that's it. Artificial intelligence suing their own damn artificial intelligence. Now that's intelligent.
That's funny. Yeah.
That's funny. And the location of the courtroom and the traffic offenders' names have been withheld due to security purposes. You know who needs probably one of these AIs? Is that I can't even remember his name. The one that stole the women's clothes. We haven't heard no more from him. He's probably in jail.
Oh yeah, the guy from the nuclear department.
Yeah, he needs one of them. They probably anyway. Per the New York Post, the artificial intelligence will run on a smartphone and then listen to court arguments in real time before telling the defendant what to say via headphones. And if the AI robot fails to get the traffic offender off the hook, then guess what? The Do Not Pay will pay all your fines.
Oh, wow.
I wonder if they take your points away, too. You get enough points, you out the door. So Do Not Pay's new technology faces a lot of legal hurdles yet due to the fact that many courtrooms do not allow non-hearing aid Bluetooth devices inside the courtroom. Give it time.
That'll change.
Give it time. I wouldn't doubt if the judge becomes a robot.
I wouldn't doubt that either.
Right?
I would. Seriously, I wouldn't. Yeah.
Here in California, they need it because there's some courtrooms, like in Santa Monica, they just shut it all down.
Yeah.
Hey, you got to go all the way over here. Yeah. And also in most courtrooms in the United States, all parties need to consent in order to be recorded inside of a courtroom. So there you have it. That's the morning news. I'll see you tomorrow. Andy, you got anything you want to say before we sign out of here?
Gold and silver are looking really strong. The charts are looking amazing. Gold has a 15-year cup and handle pattern, which is one of the most bullish configurations in technical analysis. Everybody knows that. It's looking great. It looked like it's poised to make a really good run, and silver's going to be let loose very soon. I can tell it happening. There's not a lot of silver coming out now. The mines are very limited.
Right.
So we're looking at a great bull market. Time to get in is right now.
And you know, we have a guide that I actually put together, and it's free. It's free. You can either email us, you can give us a call, 800-753-8534 or 323-380-5485. Andy, you want to plug in your number?
Yeah, 213-732-2865. We'll be happy to go over any questions you might have about gold, silver investment, retirement account.
Well, we have the asset protection guide that we can actually send out to you as well. It's a booklet you can.
Yeah, we'll get that right out to you. You can print it up. There's some folks out there who still ask for brochures. So if you can print it up and you have the paper in front of you, if you like the feeling, to have the feeling of a brochure. So don't wait. You got to protect yourself. You have to take a long-term view. Don't take the short-term view. Take the long-term. Play the long game. That's what we're playing here. Long game to preserving and protecting your wealth.
And at that note, Romeo,
Romeo
Andy,
is up.
and myself, we